welcome to the Stars in the Making with the mission to inspire and frame the future. The star is Baylee Steele, basketball player and entrepreneur who proves that success isn't limited by a single path. From a 16-year-old dream to play professionally across the continents, guided by two dads, he highlights that there are many ways to achievement beyond the traditional route. He turns setbacks into learning curves and shares practical, non-traditional ways to earn money and build lasting wealth. Strategies to strive beyond the court, mindset and real moves anyone can use. Please, let's welcome the star, Baylee Steele. This episode is sponsored by the scientifically revolutionized creatine, more energy for muscle and brain. Hey guys, welcome to the Stars in the Making. I hope you guys watched the intro and was awesome as always. And Baylee Steele, the basketball player, is right here. With that being said, let's welcome the star. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, the Stars in the Making. Bro, you are amazing. You are killing it out there.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Just doing my thing, you know?
That, that's right. That's right. I saw your video going all over the place. And then I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to get him on. But we've been talking back and forth. I know you are pretty busy, but you finally made it. So we really appreciate one more time.
Yes, sir. We made it happen, man.
That's right. So with that being said, please introduce yourself and then we're gonna jump into it.
Yeah, I mean, my name is Baylee Steele, basketball player. I've been playing since I was 16 years old, and now I'm 5 years in playing professionally. And now I'm here looking for my next job. So, yeah, just living down here in Florida and Fort Lauderdale, staying ready for the next spot.
Oh, awesome. Cool. So you were born and raised in here in the States. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. In Iowa.
In Iowa. Oh,
Hmm.
cool, cool. Man, so we have a little thing here. So icebreaker question. I will ask you icebreaker question, which is we do a session, and I just hope you're ready for that.
All right, let's do it.
All right. If your life was a movie, what would be the title of the movie and why?
You know, I've thought about this. The last podcast I was on, they asked me if I had a book, what would I name it? And I'm going to answer this question a little bit differently because now I've thought about it a little bit. But I think it would have to be something that could tell a little bit about my life, but make you want to hear more. So I kind of think like something along the lines of, you know, what if? Something like that, and then some subtitle of, you know, what if I would have dreamed bigger or something like that. Something along those lines, just because of, I'm sure we'll get into it, just about where I am today, is because of what was in my mind and the actions that I took 5, 10 years ago leading up to this point. Um, and now, you know, I'm in a position where I feel like, what if I would have dreamt bigger? What if I would have had a bigger dream?
Right.
And so that's where I'm at today.
Wow, that's awesome. That's pretty dope, bro. So you talk a lot, something that very, very motivating that I see about your story. You talk about basketball. You give a lot of advice into a younger generation. Um, you talk about that if wasn't basketball, like your life after basketball. Can you talk a little bit about that more?
Yeah, I mean, life after basketball is something I think about every day, you
Yes.
know. As athletes, we are told all the time, you know, we can't play this game forever, whatever sport we play. And so there's stories of, you know, like wait until it happens because it's a struggle, you know, to transition from our sport world into the real world. It can be a very difficult thing. Um, and so, yeah, it's something I think about all the time.
It's man, I love when you talk about in your story again how I think many entrepreneurs and also upcoming stars they don't really think about that. I think once they are making millions, they think that that's going to be forever. And you really point out something very important, which is every entrepreneur and every baller should know about you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, right now I create content, right? I've been
Mhm.
creating content for the last 13 months now. And it started out, and I still do it because of pure passion and joy in doing it. But as you create more and more content, you see the value in it, and you see why creators like Mr. Beast can make a chocolate brand that can go head to head with Hershey's, and you can see why Ryan Trahan can create a candy that goes head to head with some of the biggest candy companies in the world. It's
Mhm.
because they build an audience that trusts them and that are willing to, take their advice to follow their lead in whatever passions there might be aligning between the creator and the audience. Um, and so, I mean, that's just kind of a way that I'm doing it. Is just by being myself online, and whoever wants to listen can listen,
Right, right.
and however way I monetize that now or in the future, it'll come, but my
Right.
biggest thing is just being myself and, trying to pass on these lessons that I've learned in life, and, how I've gotten to where I am in life to the next generation.
Maybe someone is not a basketball player as you are. What is the skill, the number one skill you would say to help them into monetizing their skills effectively?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. So something that I regret about what I didn't do growing up, in high school and in college. I always had summer jobs. I always did something for work for money on the side, right? Um, but it was never in a high value skill. And so if I could go back and change one thing about my summer work, I would have done something in sales, whether that's door-to-door sales or working for some real estate company to just get on the phones and start cold calling a shit ton of leads. I think that is my biggest, you could call it regret, is that I didn't learn the skill of sales early enough in my life. Um, and now, from the wealthiest people I know, they all have that skill. They all know how to sell their ass off. And so that's what I would say is the number one best skill that you could learn.
Hmm. So if you want to say to someone right now, like, hey, I think the number one skill right now is this one. Do you have like one particular, like someone would follow or start like as right now?
You know, the first person that comes to mind is Hormozy. He's
Mhm.
done a really good job in creating content about how he got to where he is in life, and it
Right.
was because of sales with his fitness business. Selling weight loss and selling gym packages to struggling gyms to help them, turn into profit machines. And
Yeah.
so I would say that's a very very good resource to go to.
Awesome. And I see you, I did a lot of research on you and you travel a lot through basketball. There is a video where you were talking about you fired your agent. Is that
Yeah,
video? Can you go deep into that video? I think it's very important.
yeah. I mean, I am the type of person where I don't like to be complacent. It's something that can be very easy to do. You get in a routine, get in a groove and everything, and you can get happy with where you're at in life. But me, I've always treated the now and the next year as how do I use this time to get to that next step, to get one step closer to where I see myself in 5 years and 10 years. And with basketball, unless you played in the NBA, you're not going to go to a top team, right? Whether it's Europe, Asia, or whatever. And so a lot of agents can place you in a team, in a country, in a league, where you can prove your worth, so you can take that next step. But they also they have to have the connections to get you to that next level, but they also have to believe in you, and they have to think that they have to believe in you as much as you believe in yourself. So my former agent, the one that you're talking about, he didn't really believe in me as much as I believed in myself, and he didn't think I could accomplish what I believed that
Right.
I could with this game. And so, um, you have to go in a situation like that.
What you had to learn from all these countries and different culture, different people that you have to deal with.
Yeah. I've learned two things, two big things, right? One is that right now, as a professional basketball player, I am an employee. I work for someone. And whether I like it or not, I am on someone else's time and I am put on someone else's schedule. It just so happens I love it. I really love playing basketball for a living. I'm super, super blessed to be in this position. But that's one thing that you see really quick in this game,
Yeah.
especially pro, is that we are employees and that we work for someone. And I know through this experience that I don't want to be the type of person that, has to work on someone else's schedule, has to get told what to do in order to be successful in this life, right? The other big thing that I learned is that us being in the States are very, very privileged, right? We are the biggest country as measured by GDP output in the world for a reason, right? And I've been able to live in some of our biggest competitors, countries in China and Japan, number two and now number four.
Right.
And you see why the States is number one. I mean, it seems kind of popular on
Right.
social media and in today's culture to complain and bitch about the environment that we're in and everything.
Yeah.
And you see a lot. Yep.
Yes. Sorry for cutting you off. When you talk about these, are you talking about resources or how is the resources? Tell me,
Yeah.
in the States, we have more. Is that correct?
We definitely have more resources.
Yeah.
But two, it's just the mindset of the people, right? Like in these other countries, you're more expected to go and work for an employer and, work a 9 to 5 for 40 years and then retire on, some little savings, whatever savings you were able to have, right?
You have not that much. You have no choices.
In the States, if you have a business idea, you are supported 100%. Whether you need funding or support from friends and family, you have it, right? And
Right.
it's just the culture is not like that in other countries that I've experienced. And so to go back to your question, it just makes me appreciate the country that I grew up in and the country that I live in so much more, you know?
Right. And I wanted to jump into YouTube. There is people that think that only school that can put them up there. So you mentioned in your story that the only source you can actually learn from YouTube, things like that. Can you highlight that a little more?
Yeah, I mean, look, we live in a society where, formal education is, you know, I don't want to say force on us, but it's our parents and grandparents encourage us to do that. We're growing a little bit away from that, but we live in a society where mainly we're taught that go to school, get a degree, get a job, and then work your life away, and that's how to be successful, right? But I have, because of basketball, 100%, I've been able to meet some very successful people, right? And of the most successful people I know, probably half of them have a degree. Those people don't their businesses aren't in anything that they went to school and studied for.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that there's other forms of education, whether it's from a mentor and learning from someone that is in a place that you would like to be one day, learning from them how they achieved everything that they have, or two from YouTube. We have whatever you want to learn, we can get it through this machine right here, this computer, through the
That's
internet.
mhm.
Of course you have to be selective with who you listen to and everything,
Yeah.
but I everything I've learned, like as far as making money and what I do with my money, where I invest it and everything, is because of YouTube. Straight up, my college degrees are useless to me, but that's part of I never really valued school too much, and I was a little immature when I
Mhm.
was getting into my undergrad and my post grad school and everything, so I didn't really get my undergrad or master's degree in things that can translate into real world skills, and to help create value in the world.
Right.
But um, yeah, I mean, you can learn whatever through the
And,
internet, through YouTube.
and you talk about more about what can we learn from Mr. Beast? and Logan Paul. I think you highlight those things a lot. Can you go into that? I think we need to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Beast is the best creator of in the world for a reason, right? He knows how to capture attention
Mhm.
and he knows how to monetize that attention. Um, he committed his entire life to being successful on YouTube, right? He did his 10,000 hours and then some and multiplied that. And because of that, he's where he's at now.
Yeah.
He got offered $1 billion for his brand a few years ago. It was like during COVID time, right? And he
Yeah.
turned it down. No, not didn't even consider it because he realized the value that he had, that he was sitting on.
Mhm.
And so I think that's someone that I study, that I look up to when it comes to content, because he has mastered this game, both with capturing attention, with views, and creating an audience, and by monetizing them by creating a product that has problems with it, chocolate, and c creating real value in this world. One, by offering a great chocolate, a candy bar that is much better for you. I don't want to say it's healthy for you, but it's a much better alternative than some of the others, much less sugar or whatever, and it's produced in a much more ethical way, right? His mission is why he is able to deliver so much value, because he saw a problem with the chocolate industry, something that he's very passionate about, and he saw that how this chocolate gets manufactured and how these farmers um, collect it, or I don't know how the terminology for it is, very unethical by
Yeah.
having kids go and work for pennies on a dollar and working these kids to death. And so he created real value in this world, and he's benefiting from it in a huge way.
Yeah. So you recommend every entrepreneur and every young star to learn from him.
I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg, you know. There's so many other creators you can look at. But
Oh, Logan
one thing
Paul.
is,
You mentioned Logan
look,
Paul as well. What can we learn from him?
yeah, Logan Paul, love him or hate him, I don't really keep up with him too much. But one thing I know is that he knows how to get views and capture attention.
That's true.
And I know his thing with KSI, right? They had some beef or whatever, and eyeballs that drew eyeballs. It's kind of similar with like what Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. They beefing in public
Yeah.
to to make the value of their fight, their service, their product that much more valuable. And so what they did on the back of that internet beef is they created a product together and ended up being business partners, right? With Prime drink. I don't know if it's energy drink or whatever, but they put their faces on this brand and hired and got built a great team to run it and to make sure that that company is doing what it is today. So I mean, yeah, that's another way to do it as well. I'm sure that's what Beast and everyone else does. You know, that's what like Ryan Trahan does. So all the creators do, they capture attention, partner with an operator to provide a product that is either better or just something that people have that there's demand for.
It's amazing advice for stars, for any entrepreneur out there. I hope you guys are locked in and listen to that. And one thing, what do you see yourself 5 years to 10 years from now?
Honestly, I see myself raising babies, man. I just got married and
Awesome.
we are
Congrats, man.
thank you. Thank
Congrats.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean that's where I see myself, raising a family and just
Exactly.
being a great dad, you know. That's what I'm really looking forward to most in life. I I just man, I have goosebumps saying this. I don't know if you can see him on the camera, but that is the
Right.
number one thing that I look most forward to in this world. And so, God willing, that is where I will be in 5, 10 years, raising babies of my own.
Awesome. When you say babies, this is out of curiosity. You don't have to answer that. How many kids you want to have?
Honestly, as many as God will give me. That's my answer to that question.
I love that.
I just yeah, it's something I'm really, really looking forward to in life.
Would you, one follow-up question, would you like them to be basketball players as well or something
You
else?
know, if they want to play basketball, I hope to be in a position to be able to give them the best training, the best teachers, the best resources in order to help them achieve whatever they want to, whatever they're passionate about in life. If it's basketball, great. My wife she'll be a dentist. If it's they want to follow mom's shoes and be a dentist, great. We're going to do everything in our power to help them achieve what they're passionate about. And that is, I think, obviously I can't speak about it because I'm not experiencing it firsthand, but what I think and what I feel like I'll do is I just want them to find their passion at as early of an age as possible and commit to it 100%, go all in, and it's my job to help them achieve all of their goals.
There is one more thing. I see one of your video went viral, where you talk about both of your dads. So can you go deep into that? Man, that video is so amazing. Touched a lot
Yeah,
of people.
thank you, man. That was I put a lot of time and effort into that, and I made that with such passion from the heart. It's been something that I've been wanting to make for a while.
Yeah.
Um, I've been thinking about it for a long time, right? Um, I just got married a month ago, and
Right.
I had my biological father and my dad in the same place. And so I was like, I'm getting as much pictures, videos as possible because this is when I can finally share my story.
Yeah.
So I am adopted, right? I was adopted, a few months old, and I grew up being taller than everyone else. My dad is, he's tall, he's 6'3", but he's not like tall where you would be like, he's having a tall ass son. I was always that tall kid in my head and shoulders above everyone else, right? I didn't think anything of it. I turn 9 or 10 or something like that, and my parents sit me down and they have a serious conversation with me, and they tell me that I'm adopted. And all I can remember is me asking the question, could he shoot threes? Could Mo, my biological father, shoot threes? Because they said he's a basketball player and everything.
Yeah.
And I say that to say, when a lot of people get told that they're adopted, they their first reaction is with anger or they have resentment towards their dad, their parents, their biological dad, whatever. I was very naturally curious. And so over time, I built that relationship with my biological father. And, texts turned to phone calls turned to flights over to Bosnia to see where I come from, at least by blood.
Yeah.
And so I was able to build a real strong relationship with him,
Yeah.
all while my dad is raising me. And of course, I have a great relationship with him. It wasn't until I get to 24 years old, the same age that my dad was when he adopted me, when he decided to marry my mom, adopt me, and raise me as his own flesh and blood,
Yeah.
that it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I have goosebumps talking about this, seriously,
Right.
because it hit me like, man, what that man did for me is no, no, it's so rare. No man would think of doing that.
Right.
I wouldn't even think of doing that, but he did that for me, and I am who I am because of that. Who knows where I would be if it wasn't for that man, my dad. And ever since that moment, me and him, our relationship just grew like this, man.
Right.
And it just made me super, super grateful of how I was raised. I wouldn't change a fucking thing about it because I am who I am because of what happened in the past. And yeah, man, I'm blessed to have a great relationship with my dad, a great relationship with my biological father, and have two men in my life that are father figures that I can turn to and talk to about anything that I have going on in my life.
Any advice for any upcoming star that
Yeah, yeah, this will be a good circle back to how we started, man. How I talked about what if, right? I grew up playing baseball, and that is the sport that I wanted to play professionally. I thought I was going to be in the MLB. I was really good when I was 11, 12 years old. That was my peak. And then I just started going downhill and my peers passed me, right? At the same time, I was growing. Physically, I was growing. And although I didn't play basketball year round, I would always play in like the YMCA rec league, whatever. Just because I was tall. That's it. I was trash. I was absolutely horrible at the game, but I just played because I was tall. That's it. When I was a sophomore, I was playing on the JV team, and I had a game where I had a double double. I didn't even know what a double double was. head coach comes up to me and was like, "Hey man, you had a double double." I'm like, "Awesome! What is that?" But I had fun playing it, and that was when the light bulb went off. Where I was like,
Well, what is the double double,
"Man,
by the way? For those that don't know.
you scored double figures in points, rebounds, assists,
Right.
blocks, uh, in two of those categories."
Mm-hmm.
So I had like 14 and 10 or something like that. That was when the light bulb went off. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play basketball professionally. But in my mind, I set the goal and I had the vision of myself of playing basketball professionally overseas,
Right.
not in the NBA, because I thought it was unrealistic to dream of playing in the NBA. I just started playing at 16. I'm an uncoordinated baby giraffe. I'm trash at basketball. I don't even know what's going on the floor, but I have this work ethic and a dream. And so every move I made in college, I went to 4 schools in 5 years, was in order to get me one step closer to playing basketball professionally overseas. Worked my ass off to do it, and I did it. And now I find myself I find myself in a position where I have played at one of the highest levels, not the highest level overseas. But I played at one of the highest levels overseas in China in the CBA.
Right.
And now I am asking myself, I'm in a position where I'm asking myself, man, what if I would have seen myself in the NBA as vividly and as clearly as I saw myself playing overseas? Because I had no right to I have no right to be playing where I am based on if you would have seen me when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I was so fucking bad at this game. I was so uncoordinated. I had no clue what was going on the floor. I had no clue. I was horrible, but I had a crazy work ethic and a dream. And naturally, I backtracked the steps how to get there. So now I'm in this spot, man. What if I would have dreamed of the NBA the same way I did of playing overseas? And that gap, that's what if territory. And it's a very, very shitty feeling to be in that territory because there's nothing I can do now. I'm 28. That reality is gone, seeing an NBA floor. But I can look at that situation and feel regret and think of it as a mistake, or I can look at it as a learning lesson, as a life lesson for whatever I do in life after basketball. And so my advice to the next generation, whether it's sports, anything else, sports related, anything else, does not matter, is aim for the fucking stars. Because if you have that vision of yourself and you see it extremely vividly and you believe it 100% with your heart and you have the work ethic to get there, you will naturally backtrack. How do I get there? How do I get to the stars? How do I achieve my dreams? And that's my advice, man. Do not dream realistically. Set unrealistic goals and work your fucking ass off to achieve them.
I love that. All right, guys, we are going to our rapid fire questions. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, number one, favorite music.
Favorite music?
Like a hustle music.
Yeah, if I'm gonna listen to a game, a song, pre-game, I'll probably throw on "Hustle and Motivate" by Nip.
By Nip.
Yeah, yeah.
Biggest business mistake.
Biggest business mistake? I would say investing in an industry that was very clearly very, very hot and it was going to cool down. I got a rental car. I got 2 rental cars for one of my friends who was operating rental cars in the States. And I got 2 cars and they were making money at first, but I didn't do my homework. I didn't think about it. And all the signs were there. I ended up losing money, much more money than I made on those. Let's just say that.
Oh, all right. Dream collab, Mr. Beast or Logan Paul?
You gotta say Beast.
Beast.
Yep.
Love it. You know why?
That's just, I watch all Mr. Beast stuff. That's
Love
why.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. If you could have any superpower for your business, what would it be?
To be able to predict the future.
Predict the future?
Yeah,
What? Now I'm gonna ask. This is the final question. Why is that, bro?
because if I would have known in 2010 that Bitcoin was going to be 120,000 today, I would have thrown all my little pennies that I had towards it. Even though it wasn't much back then, I would
Yeah.
have known where it's going, and that would be worth a lot of money today.
Love that. Love it. Love it. All right, bro. Thank you so much for having you for being here in the Stars in the Making. You are such an inspirational figure. All right, guys. Still Baylee is right here, and we all said with our podcast. And you wanted to say something else?
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you for having me on, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you, bro. We appreciate you. And please, guys, follow your stars and never ever give up. So take something from this story. And is a beast. Go, his page is right here. We're gonna put it right out here. Go follow and watch yourself. His career, what he's doing some dope stuff. Definitely. All right, have a good one, and we'll see you on the next episode.